What's going on, Nexus Dwellers? Trey Leo here, and we're here. You already know who. Mr. Carlin. Gotta love him. If this is your first time here, buckle up, because you're in for quite the ride. Now, not coming from me. I'm just the intermediate. This is not my video. I did not create this video, nor did I come up with any of the content that is being said. I'm way too average for that. I merely pick up things and if it makes sense to me, I roll with it, and sometimes I can interject and put my own spin on it. But Mr. Carlin here is a pure genius, to say the least. And I haven't seen this particular segment in general. It is entitled Saving the Planet. But I imagine he has a lot of very interesting things to say, and I'm not even going to talk anymore. I just want to hear what he has to say, because I just love hearing the philosophy of and the logic in this man. I'm mad that I wasn't around in his era, because I think I would have fit right in, minus the racism and things of that nature. I mean, well, I'm light skinned, so I think I would have been all right. I'm just anyways, hope everyone's doing good today, and let's get right into this, shall we?
See, I'm not one of these people who's worried about everything. You got people like this around you. Country's full of them now. People walking around all day long, every minute of the day, worried about everything. Worried about the air, worried about the water, worried about the soil. Worried about insecticides, pesticides, food additives, carcinogens. Worried about radon gas, worried about asbestos. Worried about saving endangered species. Let me tell you about endangered species, all right? Saving endangered species is just one more arrogant attempt by humans to control nature. It's arrogant meddling. It's what got us in trouble in the first place. Doesn't anybody understand that? Interfering with nature. Over 90%, way over 90% of all the species that have ever lived on this planet, are gone. They're extinct. We didn't kill them all. They just disappeared. That's what nature does. They disappear these days at the rate of 25 a day. And I mean regardless of our behavior. Irrespective of how we act on this planet, 25 species that were here today will be gone tomorrow. Let them go gracefully. Leave nature alone. Haven't we done enough? We're so self-important. So self-important. Everybody's going to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the greatest arrogance of all, save the planet. What? Are these fucking people kidding me? Save the planet? We don't even know how to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't learned how to care for one another. We're gonna save the fucking planet? I'm getting tired of that shit. Tired. I'm tired of fucking Earth Day. I'm tired of these self-righteous environmentalists, these white bourgeois liberals who think the only thing wrong with this country is there aren't enough bicycle paths. People trying to make the world safe for their Volvos. Besides, environmentalists don't give a shit about the planet. They don't care about the planet. Not in the abstract, they don't. Not in the abstract, they don't. You know what they're interested in? A clean place to live. Their own habitat. They're worried that someday in the future they might be personally inconvenienced. Narrow, unenlightened self-interest doesn't impress me. Besides, there is nothing wrong with the planet. Nothing wrong with the planet. The planet is fine. The people are fucked. Difference. The planet is fine. Compared to the people, the planet is doing great. It's been here 4.5 billion years. Did you ever think about the arithmetic? Planet has been here 4.5 billion years. We've been here, what, 100,000? Maybe 200,000? And we've only been engaged in heavy industry for a little over 200 years. 200 years versus 4.5 billion. And we have the conceit to think that somehow we're a threat? That somehow we're going to put in jeopardy this beautiful little blue-green ball that's just a floating around the sun? The planet has been through a lot worse than us. Been through all kinds of things worse than us. Been through earthquakes, volcanoes, plate tectonics, continental drift, solar flares, sunspots, magnetic storms, the magnetic reversal of the poles, hundreds of thousands of years of bombardment by comets and asteroids and meteors, worldwide floods, tidal waves, worldwide fires, erosion, cosmic rays, recurring ice ages, and we think some plastic bags and some aluminum cans are going to make a difference?
Oh my God.
The planet. The planet.
You've got a good point.
The planet isn't going anywhere. We are. We're going away. Pack your shit, folks. We're going away. And we won't leave much of a trace either. Thank God for that. Maybe a little styrofoam. Maybe. Little styrofoam. Planet will be here and we'll be long gone. Just another failed mutation. Just another closed-end biological mistake. An evolutionary cul-de-sac. The planet will shake us off like a bad case of fleas. A surface nuisance. You want to know how the planet's doing? Ask those people at Pompeii who are frozen into position from volcanic ash. How the planet's doing. Want to know if the planet's all right? Ask those people in Mexico City or Armenia or 100 other places buried under thousands of tons of earthquake rubble if they feel like a threat to the planet this week. How about those people in Kilauea, Hawaii, who build their homes right next to an active volcano and then wonder why they have lava in the living room? The planet will be here for a long, long, long time after we're gone, and it will heal itself, it will cleanse itself, because that's what it does. It's a self-correcting system. The air and the water will recover, the earth will be renewed, and if it's true that plastic is not degradable, well, the planet will simply incorporate plastic into a new paradigm, the earth plus plastic. The earth doesn't share our prejudice towards plastic. Plastic came out of the earth. The earth probably sees plastic as just another one of its children. Could be the only reason the earth allowed us to be spawned from it in the first place. It wanted plastic for itself. Didn't know how to make it. Needed us. Could be the answer to our age-old philosophical question, why are we here? Plastic. Assholes. So, the plastic is here, our job is done, we can be phased out now, and I think that's really started already, don't you? I mean, to be fair, the planet probably sees us as a mild threat, something to be dealt with, and I'm sure the planet will defend itself in the manner of a large organism, like a beehive or an ant colony can muster a defense. I'm sure the planet will think of something. What would you do if you were the planet trying to defend against this pesky, troublesome species? Let's see, what might, viruses. Viruses might be good. They seem vulnerable to viruses. And viruses are tricky, always mutating and forming new strains whenever a vaccine is developed. Perhaps this first virus could be one that compromises the immune system of these creatures. Perhaps a human immunodeficiency virus, making them vulnerable to all sorts of other diseases and infections that might come along. And maybe it could be spread sexually, making them a little reluctant to engage in the act of reproduction. Well, that's a poetic note. And it's a start. And I can dream, can't I? See, I don't worry about the little things. Bees, trees, whales, snails. I think we're part of a greater wisdom than we will ever understand. A higher order. Call it what you want. You know what I call it? The big electron. The big electron. Whoa. 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 It doesn't punish. It doesn't judge at all. It just is. And so are we, for a little while. Thanks for being here with me for a little while tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Kind of get off sync after, I don't know, that was weird, last 5 seconds. I don't know what to say, but damn. I mean, George Carlin makes so much sense, and that, I mean, honestly, he's not saying anything that scientists and other people haven't said, but I love the way that he delivers the message, because he delivers it in a way that is easily digested amongst just average people, because the average person is not going to listen to an Al Gore global warming seminar and Neil deGrasse Tyson and all these people explaining how things work, and at least from their particular comprehension. Like that in itself is a way more far debatable story than anything else, and I don't even want to get into that because which one came first, the chicken or the egg? Evolution of creation. And to say that, there is one particular comment, and if that individual was here who made that comment and asked me, like they asked me, because I one of my other videos I said that there is a certain measure of faith that comes with science, that like religion, you just kind of have to believe the notion in which what they're telling you. And one of the examples that I kind of want to give is that, all right, and let's just take off our rigid thinking ideology hats for a second there and just kind of think freely. And I'm not trying to sway anyone towards a particular philosophy. I'm just merely trying to conjure up thought, thought-provoking ideas. Now, I don't have a rocket. I don't have a measurable speedometer that would regulate or would measure how fast the Earth is rotating. Now, they tell you that the Earth is rotating at thousands of miles an hour, and that we're spinning, constantly spinning. This right here is something that I just kind of have to believe, because honestly, there is no measurable, at least from my perspective, there's no measurable evidence. Because from where I'm standing, or sitting rather, I don't feel movement. I can go outside and lay down and I don't feel movement. Like, it's not the same as if you were traveling 100 miles an hour in a car relative to being on this big giant spinning ball. But this is one example. And there are others, but that's just an example of what I meant for clarification. And I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to wane toward one side or the other. I'm just here to, incite questions and ideas, because honestly, I'm trying to figure it out just like anybody else is. The only difference is I'm just me, and I don't have millions of dollars in funding to try to figure out research and things. So that's the difference. Guy on YouTube that's filtering through all this stuff. And I read books. I go to the library too. YouTube is one vineyard that I feel like a person should use, but you should always make use of the library and other means. Anyway, this is not a lecture on how to research or what to research. I just merely want to say that this is one of those things. As the Earth, this big evolutionary ball that kind of spits out life, and it's an amazing phenomenon that kind of, it's a big mystery, and people are like, well, I got it figured out. No, I don't think so, because like Carlin said, it was billions of years the Earth has been here, and we relatively, like you said, 100,000, 200,000 years at the most. Some people think that it's maybe a million, and it goes on and on like that. That is crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, back to the subject and matter is that, yeah, the Earth will be fine with or without us. With the invention of AI, without the invention of AI, we're gonna be fine. Like, this is coming from a person that has no idea what he's talking about, mind you. So, side note, disclaimer. I feel like it's gonna be a good thing. Optimism is a good thing to have, because you can look at it from one side and say, oh man, it's gonna be Terminator, and they're gonna take over, and we're gonna be their slaves. But I mean, come on, we kind of already are now. Like, what are you? I'm talking to you through a device in which projects my voice, my face, and I can convey my thoughts directly to you instantaneously, almost whenever I upload it. That is, you know what I mean? It's freaking insane. And I'll give you one more story, and then I'm out. Recently, I was out, and me and my friends went to go to the movies, and this is how reliant, at least I am, on technology. We went out for a movie, and my phone died, and they wanted to meet up to go get something to eat afterwards. And so I was like, yeah, we'll meet you there, blah, 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 get your address, and we'll just GPS it, and we'll meet you there. Well, my phone is dead. I don't have a charger, and literally 2%. I put the address in, and during the transition of us going there, it dies. I panic. I lose my mind because in my mind I'm like, I don't have anybody's number. At least not, I don't know it off the top of my head. You just push a button and boom, you call so and so. I don't know my location or where I'm at. I don't know anything. Like outside from this phone, this device, I was lost like a little child. I'm a grown man. And I literally was panicking, had to go buy a charger in order to feel secure again. And looking back at it in hindsight, it was ridiculous. And I just look at myself like what happened? I remember back in the day where people used maps. My parents used maps. We use maps. Or we'll print out the address online. I'm a little bit before that where maps were a thing where you had to literally look at the map, you look at your bearings, you try to see which highway that you're on or landmarks or whatever it is. And that's how you got there. You wasn't 100% certain because those maps weren't always up to date. So it's weird. Anyways, I'm sorry to go off on that little tangent there. It's just when we talk about when I hear stuff about like the planet and consciousness and this all this deep stuff, I just can't help but to. It's because it's a fascinating thing to me, and I love discussing it. Anyways, if anybody for those who stuck around through that whole debacle, I appreciate it. And well, yeah, I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. And let me know what you think in the comment section. And yeah, hope you have a good day. Laters.